Hi guys, it's Crystal. Welcome back to my channel. Today is day 3 of, well, episode 3 if you will, of the Back to the Basics. So we already have 1, 2, and those will be linked down below. So the first one we went over what the buttons mean. The second one we went more advanced, like how to slice, weld, bring in your own image, things like that. Now this one we're going to show the different mats, what they're for, how to choose. Now this is for the Maker, but it would be the same for the Explorer. If Explorer or any of the Explorer line, you would just turn it to the custom dial and you'd be able to do the same settings as I'm doing now. Now it won't be able to do cutting wood and the fabric the way that this does. It does cut fabric, but with a backing, if that makes sense. This is just basically going over how to pick the settings, how to load the mat, how it cuts, which blades to use, etc. Okay, so let's start with the mats. All right, so the first one here we have is the green mat. This is the original one of the first ones they came out with. This is what they consider the standard grip. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the plastic off. Now this one was a 12 by 24 mat and I just cut it in half. So if you have a bunch of the 12 by 24 and you're not using them for something, you can cut these perfectly in half. So they still work the same. Now if you cut it in half, this is the bottom, and all I did was use a hole punch to poke a hole in it because I hang them on the wall, and I insert it from this end, not the side that's cut. Now this is just information for a cut one. So you can see, let me kind of show you guys, you can see the stick on this one. You can see how much stick this has. It has quite a bit of a stick. This one here, and it's crazy because it was one of the first ones, but they've advanced a long ways. This one I now use for, you can use it for fabric, it's perfectly fine. You can use it for your vinyl. I use it for my iron-on. Not so much of the regular vinyl. I do sometimes, but not so much if it's super sticky, because the backing of the regular vinyl does have like a paper that can tear. But any of my iron-on, I do use this one because it does help stick a little bit better if my blue mat is older, because they don't have that much of a stick anymore. But your standard mat's going to be, you could put felt on it. I just really would not put paper. When you put paper on this one, it can lead to tearing. So designate this more towards some of your heavier duty materials that can handle being pulled off here. Just nothing that's going to be able to tear, if that makes sense. All right, so let's move this one out of the way, and we're going to be able to utilize these here in just a little bit so you can see them in action. All right, so that's the green one. So then, and once again, those are also in the 12 by 24. I don't know if it'll fit in frame here, but this is a 12 by 12. So each one of these colors do come in a 12 by 12 mat. All right, so the next one here, let's cover the purple one. This is also a 12 by 24 mat that was cut in half. Once again, I put a hole down here at the bottom. That way I can hang it on the wall. And I just always insert it from this side, not the cut end here. But if you have a 12 by 12, that doesn't pertain to this information. Okay, so let's go ahead and show you the stick on this one. This one is designated. You can see how it's even harder to peel this plastic off. Now I apologize if my camera kind of lags a little bit because I am using Switcher Studio to do this, and it don't work that best with when it's not live. But I wanted to be able to get these angles so you can see how hard this plastic sticks to this sometimes. So it does have a grip. Okay, so you can see that it's a little bit rough pulling that off. All right, so you can see how well this sticks. Like, I mean, I can really get in that and that's not going to pull off. So this one has a tremendous amount of stick. This is going to be for your wood. You really want to stick with your wood for this. Now if it's one that I've used a ton, because the wood, you can just use a baby wipe to kind of really clean that up. If it's one that you've used a lot more, you can also use this for your vinyl. I have used it kind of newer, but I really wouldn't recommend it just because it sticks so much. But you could also use this for your iron-on, if that makes sense. I just said vinyl, but your iron-on. But you really want to stick to using your wood for this one. So I'm going to go ahead and get that back on there, get that out of the way. And once again, that comes in a 12 by 24 mat. All right, so let's go ahead and set that aside. Now let's move on to, that one is called the, let me see what they're calling it, strong grip. All right, so now the blue mat here is what they consider their light grip. This is going to be the lightest one. You can tell how easy that plastic comes off. Now this is one that I've used for a little bit, so you can see that my hand just does not stick to this one. This one, it's got the stick, so you can see that. But this is the one you want to designate for your paper. So this one's the one you're going to want to use for your paper, your crepe paper. You can use this for your iron-on vinyl if you want to, but I really use this for a lot of paper. So anything that's really pertaining to paper, whether it's even like craft board or anything, just stuff that it's not going to tear it up, and it's got a great easy way to peel away, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's what that's going to be for. The blue one is really for paper. It works out so great. And like I said, crepe paper, all that kind of stuff, really thin stuff, regular paper, cardstock, all that. All right, now the pink one, this is their fabric grip. Today I don't have any fabric except for felt I'm going to be able to show you, or wood, because I don't have those down here at the shop. I wish I'd have brought some in. I had it planned, but then I totally forgot. We'll have to do another video on showing you real quick the fabric and the wood, but just stick with me, and we've got projects coming up for those. Now the fabric mat, it's got a really good stick. So this one kind of reminds me, it's between the blue one and the green one. It's got that kind of stick. So you can see my hand go on here, and I've used this one a few times. It's stuck to the table for some reason, but you can see that it's got a little more of a stick than that blue one. But this one right here is for fabric. You really don't want to be touching it a lot like I'm doing. You want to really keep your oils off of it. But this one you're going to use for felt, fabric, anything that just pertains with fabric in general, wool, any of that stuff. And then all I did was I kind of run this under the water very carefully. I have a video on that. I'll have it linked down below. These are pretty easy to clean to get several uses out of them. I've used them over and over again. You can kind of see how well they hold up. You can even kind of use a baby wipe to get these. They have some tweezers, which I have around here somewhere, that are designated to kind of help pick this stuff off. But that is what your pink mat's for. Now, once again, if your pink mat starts to wear down a little bit, you could always end up turning it into what you consider the blue mat, the light grip. So don't throw them away. Just turn it into your light grip mat until it kind of really has no stick at all. All right, so this is what we're going to do. So now we're going to go ahead and switch over to Design Space, and let's find some stuff. So this is what we're going to do. We're just going to do some basic shapes, but I basically want to show you cutting these out. So let's go to New Project. All right, so all we're going to do is, and I'm going to show you few different things of this mat thing. So let's go to Shapes, and we're just going to get a heart here. All right, so let's get a heart going on. And this one came in at 3 by 3. We're going to go ahead and click on that. Now we're going to go ahead and go to Make It. So once I've got my shape, say that's what I want, I'm going to go to Make It. And the first thing that we're going to work with here, let me get my materials here so we can show you. Let's start with some paper and some cardstock. So some watercolor. So cardstock, glitter paper, and watercolor paper. Let's start with those first. All right. So let me get those out here really quick. And so let's start with the cardstock, and let me actually go backwards because I want to show you a trick while we're here. All right, so let's hit cancel. Say that I need to cut this, just say that this is a whole design, okay, but say that we're cutting it out in 4 different colors. So I'm going to hit duplicate here, but even just say this was a Mickey Mouse and he has 4 different colors. So just pretend that this was something that had 4 different colors here, and you need them, let me see, 2, 3, okay. So let me go ahead and change the colors on these really quick. So we'll leave one black. This is just kind of show you what's going on. So let's change this one white, change this one red. I just want to show you how you can cut everything out on one map. Change this red, and let's change this one to yellow, just so I can see the difference. Okay, and these should be pretty good sizes. Let me actually bring these down. Bring down a couple of these. I'll bring some down to like 2. I'll bring one down to 1. And I'll bring this other one down just a little bit more too, just to kind of have some different sizes as well. All right, looks good. So now we're going to go to Make It. So now you're going to see 4 mats. All right, so now you can see 4 mats. So we have the one with the white, the black, the yellow, and the red. Now you can see it's going to say 12 by 12. What we can do is you can also, you can go to material sizes. So you'll say that I'm working with a 4 by 6 piece of paper. I can show where I'm putting the paper so I can make sure I'm putting that on there correctly. So that's what that's going to be for. But I'm not going to use that today. So let me go ahead and go back to 12 by 12 because I'm going to show you a trick. Okay. And then you have mirror, which that is for vinyl, or iron-on, if you will. I always call iron-on vinyl, so please forgive me for that. Now you can come up here and say copies. So see where it says copies up here? I could come up here and say I need, you know, 3 hearts here. So I can hit apply, and it'll actually now give me 3 white ones. But I'm actually going to go backwards because I don't want to do that. And we're going to change it back to 1, and I'd hit apply. So that's how you can add more. Instead of going back to the screen, you could just add more of whatever you're needing. So say you're cutting out mini and it has 1 flower, but you want 3 more flowers, you can all do that from here. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the black mat, and I'm going to click, oh, sorry guys. I'm going to come up here and click the heart. Now you can see these 2 things come up. It comes up with the rotate, where I can rotate it, which is just, you know, turning it to where I can make sure these fit really good, so you can just kind of spin it around. Or you get these 3 little dots. If you click the 3 little dots, you can click move to selected mat, or you can hit hide. So say you're cutting out a bunch of stuff and you forgot to get rid of a piece, you can always hit hide. But we're not going to use that. We're going to use move to another mat. I want to move it to mat 1. You can choose any of the mats. We're going to move them all to mat 1. So I'm going to hit confirm. All right, and it automatically will change it to that color. So because it's going on there, it doesn't matter. Now let me go to the yellow mat. We're going to do the same thing. Now we're going to click on this one. We're going to click the 3 dots. We're going to click move, and we're going to move it to mat 1. Continue. And we're going to move that out of the way. And then we're going to go to the red mat. Once again, click on it, click the 3 dots, and move to another mat. Move to mat 1. All right, confirm. Now, this is what we're going to do. Confirm. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these to each corners, what I'm going to do. So I'm going to move 1 here, 1 over in this corner, and 1 of them over in this corner. All right, just like that. Let me make sure that's up there. Okay, here we go. So let me move you guys back over here so you can see what I'm going to do. All right, so what we're going to do is, so you've seen how we got them in all 4 corners. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get our mat down here. And so here's our 4 pieces of cardstock, all right? So what I did was I put them in different corners. So I know my bigger heart, which is my bigger piece here, you would do it according to whatever you're needing to do, whatever color that is. I'm going to get that up and over here. All right, and then I'm going to get my next pieces in. I'm just going to kind of slide these guys in here. And 2, 3, 4. I'm going to kind of get this one this way because I think I may have been off. This may cut off a little bit. I didn't get a big enough piece, but that's all right. All right, so I'm going to put 1 over here, and I'm also going to have 1 over here. So that's how I could get all those pieces, because if it's something small, even if it's more, you can get pieces here and there, wherever. So that way, and they even have a thing called Snap Mat, which we'll have to get into another day, where you can take a picture of this, so that way it can see what you're doing. All right, so here we go. So let's go ahead and get our machine on. All right, now let me get you guys turned back over to this one, so y'all can see what I'm going to do. Let me get my camera going here. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the screen first. All right. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to hit continue. So we're going to hit continue. And then this is where I'm talking about. So now if you have an Explorer, you just need to turn it on custom settings. And when you turn it on custom settings, this is going to come up. Okay, and this is the maker, so this is the exact same thing. It's going to come up. All right, so what we need to choose is light cardstock, because that's what I'm working with, light cardstock. And then you can see it's going to tell you, you know, what we needed to do. So nothing needs in clip A. So clip B, we need to load our fine point blade, and then we need to just load our mat. So let's go ahead and switch over here. All right, now I've talked about my other videos, which you will see, and what I did was I have, these blades are the same. So I have a gold housing and I have a silver housing, all right? So the gold one is designated for my vinyl. You don't have to do this, that's just how I know. They both the same exact blades. It's just how you don't want to use the same blade for paper and vinyl. So I have my silver for the paper, and I'm gonna pop that in. And now we're gonna load the mat. So that's what it tells us to do. So we're gonna go ahead and hit the load button. All right, so we've got the load button. And now, let me see if you guys can see it flashing. You can see this button flashing. Now you're going to hit go. And like I said, this was not a big enough piece of paper, so it came off just a little bit, which is no big deal. I'm just showing you guys. And what I would suggest, if you're new to your machine, try this out. Get some scrap pieces of paper, just get a basic heart, put a piece of paper on there, and get that to cut out. Same thing with other materials. So now we're going to unload this, just to kind of get familiar with it. Don't jump in head over heels. Just start with some basic shapes and try to cut something like that out. You don't have to do all these like I did. You could just do them one at a time. So let me switch you guys over here. All right, so what you can do, you can either peel off the outer part first, or you can kind of bend your mat just a little bit. And you can, this was a thicker cardstock than this one. So you can see the difference here. This one should have been cut on heavier. So that's one thing, make sure you're cutting the exact same height. You know, so this is a thicker cardstock. I should have chose regular all at one time or move this to the other mat, but you get the point. So let me show you that with the regular paper, because the rest of these were regular cardstock. I'm already confusing. So you can either push down like this, and you can see that pop up, so you can pop this out first, or like I said, you can just pop off the outside first and then pop off the top. Once again, this cut off because I didn't put a big enough piece. So you can see how easy these just kind of come off here. They don't stick at all. I mean, they just peel right off. So that's what's amazing about these blue mats. So that's using that. Now let's jump into some glitter cardstock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this down here on my mat. All right. Got our glitter. You want to get that down really good. So just like that. Now let's switch back over here. Now when you're done with the project, you're just going to hit finish. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and delete. I was like, where's my mouse? All right. I'm going to go ahead and delete this one right here. Delete. And delete. Delete. Because we're just doing one. That was just to show you how to get several colors. So now we're on glitter cardstock. We're going to go to make it. Same thing with this. Everything stays the same. We don't need a mirror, nothing like that. That's for iron on. So we're going to go to continue. Just like this. All right, and then we're going to now select our materials. As long as your machine is on, it should bring your machine up, okay? Seen up right here, as long as you got your machine on. If your machine is not on and you don't know why it's not bringing up your machine, it's because your machine is not on. So make sure it's on and it's connected to your laptop or either through Bluetooth. All right, so this time we're using glitter, and if you notice, that's not out here. These are popular. So I'm going to come to Browse Materials, and all you need to do is come to the search right here and type in glitter. On materials, we're going to type in glitter. All right, and then we're going to hit search, and then it's going to show all the different type of glitter materials. So we're using glitter cardstock. We're going to hit done. So now you can see that here, that says glitter cardstock. It's going to tell us to same blade, and then all we need to do is load. So let's go ahead and switch cameras again. We're going to go ahead and load. You want to make sure that's down because I didn't check it again before I loaded, but I think it should be good. Now I'm going to hit go. Now you can see with glitter, it went around it twice. So I'm going to go ahead and undo that. All right, let me go ahead and switch you guys here real quick. All right, so once again, you can either peel the outside here, or you could have taken it, and you can see how easy that's going to come off. So as long as you've got those correct settings, it should cut perfect every time. All right, so let's go ahead and let's see what next material we're going to try, something that we can use with this one. We've got some vellum, so let's go ahead and test vellum. We're going to leave that same heart up there that we have. All we need to do is reload. So if you notice, let me switch you guys cameras. Hopefully you can see that's light flashing. It's still flashing, so we can cut it again. So with vellum, let me get y'all back over here. Vellum, you're going to just get that down really good. You don't have to do this whole sheet, but I'm doing it because it's here. And then all you need to do is load it. All right. Now let's go back to Design Space, and we need to change the glitter cardstock. So we're going to come here to the arrow, and we're going to choose vellum this time. So let's start to type in vellum. All right, and you can see vellum. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to hit done. All right, and then it's going to, see right here it says tools and mat loaded, so it says tools, fine point blade, and so it's ready to go. So you can see that we're flashing. We're just going to hit go. All right, let's unload it. All right, let me move this out of the way. I was getting my piece ready. Here's the vellum. So you can, all you need to do is kind of push here just a little bit, and you can see that's that really thin paper-like plastic, if you will, and that cut it just like that. And that was on the blue mat. All right, so let's move that off, and you can see my whole sheet of vellum just peeled right off of that and didn't destroy. So now let's try a piece of acetate. You can use your blue mat here, or you can switch to your green mat. But I'm going to go ahead and utilize our blue mat. All right, so I'm going to get her on here. I'm going to go ahead and get this on here just like this. You want to just make sure it's on there good. Now let's go ahead and switch back over here to Design Space. Let's change it again. So we got vellum. Let's click down here, and we need to change that to acetate. So we're going to come back to Browse Materials. We're going to type in acetate and hit go. And now you're going to see that acetate. There's acetate and foil acetate. We're just going to choose acetate, and we're going to hit done. All right, now we're going to come back over to our machine here. We're going to load it. It's using the exact same blade. All right, now I'm going to hit go. All right, let's unload that. All right, now let's switch cameras. Now this is the acetate. You can see that is a plastic, and it just cut right through that. Super easy. So, like I said, if you choose those right settings, it should come out perfect every time. It's all about them settings and the right blade. So, and you want to make sure it's down on that mat real good. So there's that acetate. All right, so now let's move on to something else. The next thing we can use with this mat is, let's use a piece of craft board. All right, so let's go ahead and get that loaded on there now. All right, we got that on there. So this is craft board, so this is that thicker, almost like a chipboard, but not as thick. All right, now what we're going to do, once again, let me switch y'all over. Let's go ahead and change our material. So let's go to Browse All Material. And let's go to craft. So I'm just going to type in craft. All right, you can see where it says craft board. I'm going to click on that, not craft cardstock. I'm clicking on craft board. I'm going to hit done. Now it's going to say the same thing. It's the exact same blade, so all we need to do is load it. So I double check that's on there good. I'm going to load it. Once again, I'm using that blue mat this whole time. All right, now you can see my light is flashing here. I'm going to hit go. And you can see I have cut out this same thing, and I haven't had to keep going into Design Space. I've stayed on that same screen. I just got to keep loading. So it just depends on what you're doing. If you need to repeat that project over and over again, but you have different colors and you don't want to list them all out, you can do it this way. All right, now you can see with the craft board, it went over it twice as well. So now we're going to unload it. Let's switch cameras. All right, here we go. So now you're going to see, I'm just going to push on it, and there it is. So that's that thicker. You can see how much thicker that is than cardstock. So there it is. So that is, and now, like I said, if you pick those right settings, and this is what I would recommend to somebody that just gets a machine, get a heart, a square, whatever it is, and start loading just those materials. And you don't have to put the whole sheets like I am, just the size, and start testing out these cuts instead of jumping right into the main projects, just so you can get the feel of it. All right, let's see. Let's try out one more thing that can go on this one, which is, this is the blue mat. So let's go ahead and put this corrugated. So as you can see, this is a corrugated like cardstock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that down just like that. I've got the corrugated coming upwards. I'm going to get that down really good, just like that. We're going to switch over to Design Space. Now we're going to go find this material. So once again, we're going to hit this arrow, and let's go find corrugated. So I'm going to click Browse, and I'm going to type in core and see if that don't bring it up. All right, so that did. So you can see corrugated cardstock, so that's what I need. We're going to hit Done, and it's going to be the exact same blade. So now let's go ahead and load it. Load. All right, now all we need to do is hit go. All right, now we're going to unload. Bring it down here. We're going to switch screens. All right, once again, just push on that, and you can see how it just got that corrugated just like that. So, once again, choosing those right settings, and you can see I just peeled that whole piece off that, and it did not stick. You want to work with paper on the blue one. All right, let's go ahead and switch some materials. Let's see here. Let's test out. Let's try out some felt and some leather. Let's go ahead and test those materials out really quick. So let's go ahead, and what I want to do is we're going to use the pink mat for that. So I'm going to go ahead and move this guy out of my way. I'm going to get my plastic. You always want to keep this sheet. Don't throw it away. You're just going to pop it right back on top there. That way it protects your sticky surface, and try to keep your hands off as much as you can. All right, here we go. So let's try the felt first. Like I said, I don't got my fabric here, so we couldn't play with that, but we'll be getting more on those later. All right, so this is just, actually I want to use this because I don't want to waste that piece. So this is just a piece of felt here, and this is just a cheap old piece of felt from Hobby Lobby for 33 cents. All right, we're going to load this down, and once again, you don't have to put the whole thing, just whatever size you're needing, but I'm just going to leave it for video purposes here. So I've got that loaded. All right, here we go. So now you're going to notice, so let's go over here to Design Space. Let's go over here and choose felt. So we're going to come down, and we're going to change our materials to felt. And there may be, you can see here on the main screen, it's right here. We're just going to click felt, and it says to load the fine point blade. So it still says to load the fine point blade. I was hoping it would change to the rotary blade. Let me see which one I can get it to do that. Edit Tools. So you can click Edit Tools, which was right here. Now I'm going to click Rotary Blade because I want to show you with the rotary blade. So I'm going to hit Continue. So I'm going to change my blades. So let me switch y'all. All right, here we go. So I'm going to pop open. This is where I store my blades here. So this is my knife blade. This is my rotary blade. So what you're going to do is just get your rotary blade here. You're going to take your other blade out. And you want this piece of plastic here. You want, where it has no plastic, you want that facing inward. So just like that. So the plastic should come out, and the piece that has no plastic goes inward so those gears can touch. All right, so we've changed our blade, and now all we need to do is load our mat. So let's go ahead and do that now. So we're going to load our mat. Now this is the rotary blade once again. You could have used your fine point blade. You see how you had the options with the two blades. So let's hit go. Just like that. Done. Super fast. So we're going to hit unload. And now, once again, all you got to do is kind of push on that mat a little bit, and you can just pop that piece right out of there. So you can see, I should have switched y'all. I didn't even switch y'all to see that. Hopefully y'all seen that pretty good. So you can see how I just kind of popped that out of there. So a cut, that rotary blade is awesome. You can see how nice this cut is. I'm going to zoom y'all in just a little bit so you can see how nice that cut is. Let me show y'all that piece of felt again really quick. So super nice cut. That was with the rotary blade. All right, let's zoom y'all back out. All right, so now you can see that all you got to do is just peel this back off here, just like that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So here we go. Let's try another one. So this one's going to be leather. These are those packs that you can get from, they come in like 12 by 12 sheets for Cricut. I'm going to go ahead and load this down on the mat. All right. There we go. So we got it on our mat. Pink mat. Let's go ahead and go back to Design Space. Now let's change this to leather. So we're going to come up to that arrow again, and we're going to change it to leather, which it could be out here. I'm not seeing it. Faux leather right here. Yeah, this should be, because it says, I don't know if it's paper thin, I guess. So faux leather, I believe, is the one. So we're going to click that. So faux leather. Use the regular rotary, the regular blade. So I'm going to switch that really quick. Let me do this. I'm going to switch it back to this other blade, which I have a fabric blade. So I also have a pink housing. I didn't show that the other day. Pink housing is what I use for fabric and stuff. So it's the same blade, it's just housing. I try not to wear them out because paper will wear out your blade. So we're going to switch that, and we're going to load it. So we're going to try to temp 2 because I don't think it feels like paper thin like they say, but we're going to test it with that and just see what happens. So this is a regular blade. All right. We've got it on faux leather. It's ready to go. We're going to hit go. All right, let's see if that works. So let's unload it. All right, let's switch to the screen so we can see this. All right, let's go ahead, and all you need to do is push like this. Yeah, so you just want to leave it on that faux leather. I haven't really played with the leather too much, so that's why it was kind of confusing to me. So that's all you need is your regular fine point blade on that faux leather. Now, if you get into thicker leathers, it's going to let you switch it to the rotary blade, but you don't need the rotary blade for something like this. So you can see how nice that is. Super nice. And once again, you can just peel that right off, just like that. All right. So let's see what else I got. I think that's all that I have for my fabric mat today. Like I said, I forgot my fabric at the house. So let's go ahead and move this one out of the way. Where is my plastic? All right. So we're going to go ahead and get the plastic back on. Like I said, that's very important. Let's do that again. Get that out of our way. So let's move on. The green mat's what we're going to use. So the purple mat we're not going to use today just because we don't have the wood. And mine is too sticky to be messing with vinyl with that. So let's go ahead and start here. So we're going to use the green one today. So let's go ahead and start with some iron-on. Now, like I said, this regular vinyl, which I'll show you here in a minute. I need to go back to the blue mat for this. Let's do that. Let's start there before I get over here with that green one. So the blue is what you want to use with the regular vinyl, not iron-on, regular vinyl, because it has this backing here. So this paper, you don't want it to get destroyed. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to load it on your mat, just like this, and you just want to get it down really good. All right. Now Cricut did come out with a tool like this, a brayer tool, so that way you can really push this down to get this down good, but I'm not going to do that today to show you guys because mine needs to be clean because I used it with some glue a while back and I've got to clean that off. Bad plan on that. All right, so I've got that down. This is regular vinyl, so let's go back over to Cricut Design Space. We need our regular blade in here, so we'll get that in just a second, but let's go change our settings. And once again, this one will be at the front because it's popular. All you need to choose right here is vinyl. All right, so now we need to change our blade, so let's switch back over. Okay, so we need the blade. Now remember, I used the gold blade. Let me see what I did with it. Okay, I used the gold blade for my vinyl. Like I said, all three of these blades are the exact same, so please don't get confused. You can use the same blade if you want to, but paper will dull out. Same thing with fabric is going to dull your blade different than vinyl, so it's nice to keep those separate. Vinyl I have designated with gold, silver is paper, pink is fabric. You could do it however you wanted to. You could get all silver and put marks on them or whatever you wanted to do. If you can catch them on sale, try to do that if you can. All right, so switching over to the gold because that's my vinyl blade. All right, and we're going to go ahead and just set these here for now. All right, so we've got our vinyl on here, so let's go ahead and get that loaded. And we've already set the settings. So all we need to do at this point is hit go. So this is regular vinyl. When you're working with vinyl or iron-on, make sure that those are stuck down really well, because if they shift, then it's going to ruin, and vinyl is more expensive than paper, so you really want to make sure they're on there well. All right, we're done. I'm going to unload it super fast. Switch cameras here. All right, so once again, all you're going to do, now vinyl is different. So it's not going to cut all the way through. So I'm going to peel the whole thing off, and let me show you all that. All right, so vinyl is different. It's not going to cut all the way through. It has this carrier sheet, so it's super smart. Let me zoom y'all in. So the Cricut's super smart on the pressure. It will not cut to this side. This side's going to help this be your carrier sheet to help you, whether you're selling the product or you need to keep it on here. So it has cut it out here, but all you need to do is you could have either put the right size on there, but if you have a big piece, you're going to cut around it. All right, and then once you get done there, you're going to take your weeding tool. You're going to come on the outside edge here. I just started the edge corner, and you're going to peel back, and there's your heart. Now, like I said, it did not cut through this, so you can just keep it on here till you're ready to go. Then you'll take a piece of transfer paper. I just used the stuff from the Dollar Tree, which looks in a roll just like this, and it's called Magic Cover. It comes from the Dollar Tree for $1. You'll cut down a little piece, put it on top of here, and it'll pick that up. So that is how you cut out vinyl. So let's go ahead and move on now. Like I said, we're going to move on to the green mat, and we're going to work with some iron-on stuff. So let me zoom y'all back out just a little bit. All right. So let's work on some iron-on stuff. So if you're going to work with any of these here, let me go ahead and get them going on here. All right. So let's show some different stuff. So you've got, and there's tons more, holographic and all that stuff. This one is a foil. So as this has got a plastic sheet over it. You probably cannot tell this has a plastic sheet over it, but it does. That's what helps you carry it over to your shirt. This is the back side. You can always tell because this is white. Now they all don't do that, but if it's a solid background and you know this is the color you want, you know this is the back side, okay? So anytime you're going to load this, so if I was loading foil, and I'm only going to show one of these because they're going to go all on here the exact same way. Foil, you're going to put it on face down, okay? This is the side that's you're going to see on your shirt, the pretty. The pretty always goes face down. And let me go ahead and come over here so I can show you a different piece. So this is regular iron-on. This is just, you know, it's not foil fancy or nothing like that, so you call it regular. This is the same color, but you can see this side's a dull and this is shiny. The shiny is the side that's going on your shirt because it's got that carrier sheet. The dull is the glue. That's the adhesive. So the shiny side goes face down. Always remember, shiny down, all right? So that's with some regular vinyl. And then this is another piece of regular vinyl, and it's hard to tell, but the only reason why you can tell is because the back is white. So your color purple, there is a piece on here, but you can see how this is more dull and this is more shiny. So these are two different brands. This is Caesar and this is Rosy Crafts. So there's just tons of brands out there. So if you ever get one, I've got this question so many times, you think there's not something on here. There is. And a way to test it is you can pick out a little bit of a corner and pull that plastic to see what side. But obviously this one is this side because the white. That's the adhesive because I didn't order a piece of white, if that makes sense. So that would go straight down. Once again, the pretty down. All right. Now, when it comes to glitter, it's going to be the same thing. This is glitter iron-on. You're going to have that shiny side. You can see the shiny. This is dull. This is the adhesive. This is got the carrier sheet. So the real sparkly, pretty, shiny, lights are glistering off of it. That goes face down. So when you're messing with glitter, it goes face down. So what we're going to do is we're going to mess with two little pieces here. We're going to mess with regular vinyl and we're going to mess with glitter. So let me go ahead and get two pieces here so I can load them on the mat. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with regular vinyl. So I've got some little scrap pieces here. So see, this shiny side is going to go face down. The matte side is going to go face up. So we're going to load it on our green. You can use the blue, it just doesn't matter. It's just I utilize my green since I have some. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, don't use that for regular. We're going to come back to the screen. We're going to come up here and we're going to change our settings. We're going to choose Iron On, which is right here on the front. We're going to click that. And now we're going to load it. So let's switch cameras. We're going to load that. Now we're going to hit go. All right, just like that, it's done. So we're going to unload it. Now let's switch cameras. All right, here we go. So with this one, what you're going to do is kind of the same way as that regular vinyl. When you peel it off here, you're going to have this piece, and it's not going to cut. So it's super smart. This is going to be its carrier sheet, so it's not going to cut all the way through. So you may think, oh, that's a mistake. Like, you know, you're used to it coming off like paper. So you're going to cut around it, which you got to look at it real good to see where it's located. Cut off any excess so you can save it for scraps. And then what you're going to do, it's the same thing. Get over in that corner. And also, I forgot to show you guys, before you cut Iron On, make sure you mirror it. But with something like this with a heart, you don't need a mirror. But always make sure you mirror. So I'm going to show you that in just a second to be safe. So let's go ahead and peel this off. You're just going to peel it off like that. Now you can see that that shiny that we were looking at is this piece of plastic. So it's going to carry it over. You can always tell the difference between Iron On and regular vinyl, because Iron On will always, 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 always have this plastic on it. If it don't, then it's regular vinyl. So that's one way to tell that. So now it's ready. So the side that does not, the side that has the plastic on it, you're going to put up. So you'd put it down on your shirt, and then you would get your Iron On there. All right? So let's go ahead and switch to our glitter. So let's go ahead and load that on here now. Alrighty, let's go ahead and make sure that that's going to fit. All right. Just got to make sure it's not going to cut my heart. Make sure I cut a big enough piece. So now we're going to load that glitter. Like I said, that shiny side goes down. That matte side's going to go up. Now let's come back over here to Design Space. We're going to come and change our settings. And we're going to now change that to glitter Iron On. So we're going to come up here and type in glitter again. All right. I may have missed my L. I'm kind of typing sideways, guys, so it's hard to see my laptop here. All right, hit go. And then we're going to choose Iron On. So you can see glitter Iron On. We're going to pick that. We're going to hit done. And now this time you should be able to, it should ask you if you want to mirror it. So right here it says, make sure the mirror is turned on. So what we're going to do is come back to edit. And we're going to turn mirror on. So right here you can see we're going to click that. All right. So what if it's green, then it's on. We're going to hit done. And you notice that warning goes away. Well, actually it does not. I just lied. Okay, so now we're going to load it. So let's switch over here so it tells us it's the exact same blade. We're going to load it. I'm going to get it in there. And all we got to do is hit go. So like I said, I highly recommend, hopefully you guys can hear me over the machine, I highly recommend take a bunch of material, cut out the little pieces, and test this out. You know, play with your mats, play with your blades, and just test these little sample pieces out to see how easy it is to switch materials and stuff like that. All right, so let's switch camera. I already peeled this off. So all you're going to do is it's going to be the same thing. If you need to cut off any excess, go ahead and do that now. So you're going to get up in the corner there, and you're going to peel it off. And once you peel it off, you can see the difference in the color because that carrier sheet's kind of blocking that a little bit, and you can see how much prettier that is. Hopefully y'all can pick that up. So once again, you can see that already has the plastic on it. So you can tell if it's Iron On, it's got plastic. So once again, the shiny side would go up. This piece that has no shiny side would go down on your shirt, and you would iron that on. But that's how easy those are to cut and play with. So, and get some old t-shirts and stuff like that and practice ironing these little things on. But I hope you guys found this helpful in some sort of way, and that was going over a ton of different materials. So if you found this helpful, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.